Hi there, I'm Dr. Welch, and I'm a professor in the Corporate Health Communication area, emphasis of the Communication Department. I want to talk to you. I'm here to do the advising focus for you to help you learn how to do your AAR, which stands for Academic Advising Report. I'm going to divide my presentation up into three areas. One, I'm first going to talk to you about communication in general and the importance of it and what it will do for you as a corporate health major or graduate with your career. We're then going to go through an actual advising report, and I'm going to point out some things that are worth knowing. I'm then going to show you a corporate health checklist because that is very important for doing your AAR, and I'll show you why. And finally, I have a list of high impact practices that I'm going to show you which classes we have that are those, why they are helpful, and how they will help you in your career. So first, for the corporate health communication emphasis, it's important to know that yes, you will learn skills, but you will also learn much more than that. You will learn about interactions, you will learn about negotiation, you will learn about different types of groups of people to interact with. All of these are very valuable to a company. You may think not. Maybe you got a friend in accounting and that person is learning very specific skills. That is true. But you are the one that is going to be able to communicate with people across lines, across departments, across situations. And that is very valuable to a company. So, I'll go here. Okay, here is an actual advising report. I've removed all incriminating information so you know who it is, but I want to show you some things that are very important. We're going to go back and start with the College of Arts and Comms requirements. Those are gen ed type classes, but they're fine-tuned for the arts and communication area. Some of the classes you took as a university general elective will work, and that's why you'll get double counting for those. If you have double counting, then you get double counting for the requirement, not the credit, which means you may have to take extra courses of anything you want to take at the end. And one of the regular, Mr. Lowell is going to be discussing that, the path to graduation, on how to check that. When you meet with an advisor also, that person can check to make sure that you're on track. So here you go. Very important. I've seen this happen before. For the general arts ones, I highlighted this. It must be a course not in your major. So some people take a comm course, and it does say GA in the requirements and wins, but it won't work for you because it's in your major. So you can't do that, all right? So this person took art history, okay, and that qualified. And you had to take 2 GHs. Now those can be from your major. So that works great. But it can't be 2 classes in your major. It has to be 2 classes, one from one major, one from another. So you can't take 2 history, you can't take 2 comm, you can't take 2 English. They have to be separate. So that is how that works. Okay. Oh God, the qualifier block, sorry. Okay, the qualifier block, that got instilled a couple of years ago. You have to have a 2.5 GPA in the following courses in order to continue. Now the thing is, you can still take classes, but you're not going to graduate because you didn't meet the qualifier block GPA. So don't be fooled that they say, oh, you can take classes, because yes, you can, but you ultimately have to make a 2.5 GPA in these 3 classes. 110 or 131, 228, and 327. Now, if you'll notice, 327 and 228 are requirements for the major. So you're not taking extra classes. You just have to make a high enough GPA in order to continue. I left this one thing in here. It's called the qualifier. It's called personalization. That may happen if you had a previous major and you switched to comm. Then we can personalize, which means we can like hardwire, we can put it in that particular place to have it meet the qualifications. So personalization on this date, they moved it to the qualifier block update, those 2 classes. It may not happen for you. But you need to check your course history at the very end of your AAR, so that you can see, yes, I did take that class. Is it showing up where it should? If it is not showing up, then reach out to Dr. Brady, Mr. Lowell, or Dr. Wildermuth, and they can do a personalization for you. I can't do that. I'm just a regular advisor. Okay, now we're going to get into what looks like the AR for your major of corporate health. Okay, as I said, remember the qualifying block? They're the courses again. That means they took them. It's not double credit. They're just getting, in terms of credit units, it's just they're getting allowed to continue. Okay, we have the preliminary core. We have the advanced core. All of those courses have to be taken. If you'll look, the advanced core is dark, and I put that in highlighted in yellow. It is bold. It is not bold. Those was sorry, go back. The advanced core, it is bolded, so you are not done, which means you got to check off which of the courses. This person took 422, 424, and 485. This person has not taken 389, so that is why it's still bolded, and that's why it will be bolded until that student takes 389. Okay, the next one that I show, let me go back up. Okay, it's not scrolling down very well. Hold on. There we go. Okay, the electives. This is what's really nice about the electives. The electives let you fine-tune the way you want to go with your career in terms of what areas you want to focus on. Those are not bolded. I put the yellow there. So they are done. This person has taken, you had to take 9 credits or 3 classes, and that person did take 3 classes. Okay, so that person took 321, 322, and 328. So that person is done. 3 classes, you get to choose as long as it's from that list. All right, and so applied capstones. This is the one that is bolded also, not done. Anything that is dark means you are not done finishing the requirements. So you've got to make sure you check off what classes you're allowed to take and what classes. This is where the checklist comes in. There are prerequisites that you have to take before you can take some of those. This is especially true for the capstones, and that's why planning is very important. Okay, so this person needs to take 6 credits or 2 classes in the capstone. Has taken none. So this person has to take 2 more classes for that and 1 more advanced core in order to finish the major or the emphasis for corporate health. Okay, then we got milestones you got to take. Okay, at the very end, you have to do a communication department exit survey, 30 minutes, and it's on our website, and the communication department website. I think it's under student resources. If not, reach out and ask where it is, and we can send you the link for it. You also have to do the writing requirement. Now, a lot of people say, why do I have to do the writing requirement? Because, a couple of reasons. Whether you like it or not, writing matters, particularly in business. You may not like it. You may think you're used to doing the text with the run-on paragraphs. Fine, you can do those in your text. You can't do those in memos, and you can't do those in meetings, and you can't do those in reports. So the writing requirement is us verifying that you write well enough that you won't embarrass yourself or embarrass us. Because when you graduate, you represent us, Whitewater. You are one of our alums, and we want your work to speak well of how we trained our students. So the writing requirement needs to be done. There is on those communication website, under student resources, the very last item is your writing requirement form. And we've really loosened it up as to how many classes, which classes qualify. Here's a hint for you. If you're taking 2 classes at the same time that are writing requirement courses, please go ahead and submit both to both classes. We do not offer retroactive signatures. So if you took a course and later on goes, oh, that was a writing requirement course, I'll just ask them. Chances are not very good you're going to get that approval. So Have two courses, go ahead and submit them both because it is the instructor's decision. And each of us are different. You know that. I'm very different than Dr. Sobiak. I'm very different than Dr. Miller and Mr. Lowell. So my decision in my class, but it's Dr. Miller's decision in her class. So submit them both. Okay, now here is the checklist. Okay, if you look, there's prerequisites. Okay, the far right column is prerequisites. So you can't take 389, the Applied Workplace Competencies, which is our advanced core. You cannot take that until you've had 228, 327, 363, and junior standing, and the pre-block. So that would stop you right there. If you haven't done the pre-block qualification, that would stop you right there. Always look to the right column of every class that you want to take to make sure that you qualify for it. Where it gets really tricky is when you want to do your capstones, the applied capstones. 2 classes. Doesn't sound too bad. Look at the prerequisites. Okay? You have to have 327, 424, and 45 for all of them, except the internship. So internships we'd like you to take in the summer between your junior and senior year. You've had enough knowledge, you've learned things, you've had experience in your life, you've had experience in your classes. So we would like you to do the internship between your junior and senior year, this summer. It's easier to do it in the summertime. All right, okay. So then it talks about this. We have suggested minors. This is an emphasis where you have to have a minor. Minors range between 21 credits, which is 7 classes, or 24 credits, which is 8 classes. And here's ones that we recommend. Some of them can be taken in our major in the comm department. Some of them cannot do duplicates. So you can check with that and then start on your minor probably the first semester of your junior year. That way you'll get them all done. You can take some comm classes, some minor classes. If you're still dealing with the College of Arts Gen Eds, you can take those too. And that gives you a very nice balance of the topics that you will be learning. Okay, last thing. Let's talk about high impact practices. What are they? Why do we care? Why do we think you should do them? Well, some of them you might have already done. First year experience is the new student seminar. Common intellectual experiences. Okay, sometimes we like you to have classes that connect with each other. And actually, if you look at the whole academic advisory report, it is a well laid out plan that you become educated, skilled, intelligent, and knowledgeable. It may look like they're just hoops, but they're not. Much thinking and decisions have gone into what are we going to require. Okay, learning communities, those tend to be within the first year experience, but some other majors or minors use them as well. Writing intensive courses, oh, we're back to that writing requirement because writing matters. And so most of your junior and senior level classes in comm have a paper of some kind associated with it. That's the high impact practice of writing intensive. Okay. Diversity global training, 424, cross-cultural. It is a required advanced core that for in our department is the diversity training. We'd like you to get others, but that's the one class you do need to take. We were trying to do e-portfolios about a year ago. They will be coming back, but right now they're just not being done very much, but they're being seen as a viable way to pull together your academic skill set that you can show employers. Service learning and community-based learning. Well, some classes are community-based learning classes. Some of them are service learning. This is where you work for a client in class, applying the knowledge and the skills that you gained in the class to a real life job setting company. And the last one is internships. These are actually quite valuable. It's gotten to the point where many employers are expecting them. And they expect you to do things that are fairly high level. I always suggest students to think back on jobs they've had in the past. You don't necessarily have to go to a brand new company to do an internship. You might be able to do an internship in order to with a job you have or a job that you have had in the past. There are very specific requirements for those. Ms. French is going to be going over those. I will not be. I'm just giving you a heads up of that. Capstone courses. Those are the 2 classes you've got to take in our major. That is because they're high impact. So what do they do for you? High impact means they're high in terms of they have much benefit added to your skills and knowledge you gain in the classroom. It takes your learning to another level. And that's where we want you to go. Because when you go out into the workforce, at the next level is where you want to be in order to get that job. Now, this is as part of our LEAP project, Liberal Education of America's Promise. Liberal does not mean liberal for politics. Liberal education is that wide, diverse approach to education that University of Wisconsin-Whitewater addresses. And that's pretty much it for the corporate health. There will be a quiz that you will have to take. I write it, so letting you know. That you have to go through the AAR, you'll have to go to the checklist, and be familiar with these things in order to answer the quiz. When you pass the quiz, your hold will be released for advising for the fall 2020. In the future, we're going to use this video. We're not sure how else we're going to be doing the advising. That's it, and I hope you've learned something, and feel free to stop by. My chair is 6 feet apart, so if you want to come in, or I have WebEx meeting. And I am glad you're with the corporate health emphasis, and I think you're going to do phenomenally well. Thank you.